How's it going, everyone? This video is going to be on open high low close and open low high close. First, I'm going to look at an open low high close, or what I'm expecting with a bullish candle. Now, why is that? Well, every candle has an open high, low, and close. Now, if we have a bullish candle forming, unless this candle is not going to have a low like this, and the low is going to be the same as the open, it's going to have to move below the open to put in a low before going higher. With knowing that, I can look for opportunities to buy below the open or near the open, expecting this expansion up until we put in a high and then close this candle. Now with the open high low close and expecting a bearish candle, I'm expecting a high to be put in above the open. Now this is where I want to look for selling opportunities between this high and around this opening price, expecting an expansion down before the low and the close. Now, how do I know if I'm expecting a bearish or bullish candle? This is dependent on my draw on liquidity or where I think price is likely to reach for. If you haven't seen my video on draw on liquidity, I will link it in the top right over here. So let's get into some examples here. We have ES daily chart, and we are looking at the formation of the weekly candle here. If we are expecting a bearish week, we would want to see a high put in, so an open high, low close. And if we're expecting a bullish week, we'd want to see an open, low, high close. So here is Monday. As we go ahead to Tuesday, you can see we put in a nice little low. If we're going to move higher, then we'd want to see expansion up until we put in a high and then close. So there are the expansion candles, and you can see how our weekly candle formed here with our opening price, our low, our high, and then the close. For this next example, I am looking at NASDAQ on the 15-minute chart, and I am going to be using midnight opening price as the open for this daily candle. And so as we let it play out, now if you look right here, we have our open, we have a high, and if we're going to expand down, I'd want to see a low, then a close. And there we go. We have our open, high, low, close of the daily candle. And as I said in the diagrams before, I want to be looking for selling opportunities above or around this midnight opening price. So here's an example where I have identified a draw on liquidity, and we are on the 4-hour chart. So what I'm looking for is after this down close candle, I'm looking for an open, low, high close of the next 4-hour candle. So with that idea in mind, we are going to drop down to the 5-minute chart. So here you can see the previous 4-hour candle. And when we open up the next candle, I'm going to be looking at a move to put in a low before an expansion reaching for my draw on liquidity. So we have the open of this candle. Let's see what happens. We put in a low currently. We reach above. And now you can see how that opening price is supporting the candles and nothing is closing below it. I'm expecting a move higher. And now we get an expansion reaching for the identified draw on liquidity. And if we let this continue, we put in a high and then close the candle. So this is an example of how I identified a draw on liquidity. I look for an open, low, and then I can expect a move up towards my draw on liquidity before a high is put in, and then a close of that candle. Another way to think about this is in terms of accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So if we look at it like this, we have our opening price, and you can see we consolidate around here. That is our accumulation. Now, if we look what happens when we go above this opening price, that is our manipulation right here. What happens after our manipulation, or we put a high in the open high, we get our sell-off to go put in the low and the close of this candle as so. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.